Hello and good afternoon. Earlier today I showed you how to retrofit from a fluorescent T8 troffer to an Electra double safety switch LED T8 and then a Philips internal driver LED T8. Both of those were internal driver LED tubes. One took about 6 or 7 minutes, the other one took about 20 minutes on a table, not in a ceiling. The next demonstration is going to be going from a fluorescent T8 to an LED T8 external driver. These are both 4 foot. This is a 4 foot fluorescent troffer with fluorescents in it. As you can tell, it comes on, it's functional, and we're going to go ahead and retrofit it out to the Philips external driver T8. I'm going to go ahead and remove the tubes. Just like before, we want to make sure we remove these tubes so we don't break them when we remove the ballast cover. As you can tell, this is a Philips ballast. Those were Sylvania lamps. I'm going to go ahead and remove the ballast really quick. We've successfully removed our ballast. Now I'm going to grab the Philips LED driver. And this is a lot of wires. And they are kind of long and cumbersome. You can trim these down, you can leave them the same length, but I recommend not trimming them down until you know exactly how long they need to be. So before we do anything, we're going to go ahead and install the driver onto the troffer, so that way it's not moving around on us. Oh, here it is. Perfect. Now, this already has our wiring instruction diagram on the driver, so you don't have to worry about a piece of paper floating around that you're going to have to carry in your tool bags. It's right here, so once it's installed in the troffer and it's up in the ceiling, you can easily refer to it without having to pick up a piece of paper out of your bags. Okay, so our wiring diagram shows that we need to have shunted tombstones. So right now we don't really know what we have until we remove the tombstones and take a look at them. Now, let's see here. Looks like these are non-shunted tombstones, so these aren't going to work for today's installation. So we're going to have to remove these. These are the same way. So I have a set of new tombstones here. And per their instructions, these need to be bridged. So I'm going to go ahead and bridge them now. I have some scrap wire over here. You can use what you have here. Here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops. That's a bridged tombstone. So I have to do this to all 6 of them. Okay, now that all of our tombstones have been bridged, it says that we run neutral to one end and power to the other end. So, we're going to go ahead and do that. So this is... Now it says red is going to be on the furthest away, or the closest to me, and blue are the next closest to me. As you can tell, they've given us enough length on the wires, so you don't have to worry about them being too short. Here's where a magnetic nut driver really works well. Now in this instance it says 2 of the yellow wires go down to this end, and I need to jumper one of the tombstones from the other end. All right. Now in this case we're wiring it for a 3-lamp troffer, but on the instructions here they have instructions for 3 and 4 lamp. That is why there's so many extra wires. These normally don't come pre-stripped. I already stripped them earlier to make sure and test that everything works properly and correctly. But normally you'll have to strip these wires. So there we go. Now since we're wiring this up for a 3-lamp configuration, you really don't need that 3rd red wire. So we'll go ahead and we'll wrap that up here in a second. All right. There we go. So this 3rd one, I'm just going to make sure that there's no exposed end on it. And I'm going to put an extra wire nut over the end of it, just so it doesn't touch anything that it's not supposed to be touching. I'm going to wind it up and put it right there. The rest of these wires, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to tuck them in here just nice and neat. Perfect. Now the next thing that we want to do is we're going to connect our positive and our neutral. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and get that all nice and tucked in there too as well. Now I'm ready to put on the cover. Making sure not to pinch any of the wires. There we are. Now we have our Phillips external driver installed, and we're ready to install the lamps. These say external driver on the Phillips LED tube, and you'll see that right there. Now if I did my job correctly, these are going to turn on. Voila. Now this took a little bit longer than the Eledra LED T8 double safety switch installation, where we just bypass the ballast. We didn't have to bridge tombstones, we didn't have to buy any new tombstones at all. We didn't have to come up with extra wiring either to install into the troffer to make it work. So, as you can tell, this was a little bit longer process. Thank you for your time.